Hey, shalom, shalom. Hey, first and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. A double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone. Salutations to Akim. That's how they're doing the work in truth and in sincerity. All right, so this lesson is basically, um, you know, just basically pouring more shame upon Esau's glory. Because this guy Henry Berry, which we're going to go into, he made a speech during 1832, the House of Delegates in Virginia, January the 20th, 1832. Yeah. So, and this is in light. This is right after the rebellion of Nat Turner. Okay. Of course, these Edomites, they were highly afraid of more Jakes rebelling, and which is warranted. But the only reason why we rebelled is because, of course, the conditions of slavery and how we were mistreated. Anybody that somebody wouldn't allow somebody to continue to put their foot on on their necks as long as they live, and continue to shame and continue to do terrible things to us. So I'm gonna start at the middle, or the halfway point of this this letter right here, or I guess this is a recording of what he was saying during the delegation. So like I said, this is right after the slave rebellion, and let's go into it. It's a lot to read. Actually, I read about 2 to 3 pages, but I got straight to the point. And you can read this. Go ahead and check this out. Samuel J. May Anti-Slavery Collection. And what's crazy about this, was ironic, is they was talking about abolishing slavery. But of course they had to delegate among each other to figure out what the hell they're gonna do with all these Negroes. They're rebellion, they're doing all type of things, and this is right before the Emancipation Proclamation, which they found exactly what to do, was to transfer the slaves over to a corporate slave master. All right, that's why everybody had to work 40 hours a week. We had to live in this structure, the society, and how it's made, really to just, to make a slave out of you, but it's like it. Let's go into it. I'm at the halfway point. All right, so Salakia, I'll start up a paragraph where it says the Southampton affair, okay? And I believe that's part of the rebellion of Nat Turner. All right, it says the Southampton affair was a work of the most ignorant, deluded, wretches on earth. All right, and of course we wasn't deluded. All right, we were tired of being oppressed, okay? And Nat Turner found out the truth that the so-called white man that was ruling over us at this point in time, he was the devil, okay? All right, and the Lord put the spirit on Nat Turner to rebel, okay? Because they were doing heinous things to us during slavery. They were raping our women, raping our fathers. They were mutilating our fathers. They were degrading us on the highest level. So it was warranted. The rebellion was warranted. What do you expect when you treat people like shit? All right. But of course, Esau doesn't even understand that. They don't even have feelings towards doing evil and heinous things to people. They don't, because they were never on the back end of it, which Isaiah 33:1 says when they cease from spoiling, they're going to be spoiled, which is warranted. All right. So let me continue. It says that was a small affair as it affected the general safety of the state, but it was a most horrible tragedy. The attitude of the citizens of this state in relation to this danger is one of the most distressing and security individually. All right. So they was under a whole bunch of stress because their slaves rebelled. all right, which is our forefathers. Okay. It says we are like a crowd of people towards whom a single man should point a loaded gun with the apparent intent to fire upon them. They know he cannot kill them all right, but each feels that his own life is in peril. So here we know not when, how, or where this evil may assail us. And he's talking in regards to the rebellion of slaves, all right, which we are descendants of slaves, okay? It says, I admire the philosophy. And and this is it'll blow your mind when you read this, the first few pages before this, because they're talking about how slavery is an evil and that they need to rid this state of this evil peril and all this other stuff. But in the same token, which I'm going into, they're just gonna show their lack of empathy, their terrible ways, man. They're on how can I say? Well, empathy is a good enough word for it, man, because they don't have the empathy, all right, to even understand how it feels to be degraded and hurt and oppressed, all right. Of course, they speak wickedly concerning oppression, as the scriptures say. They speak loftily, all right. It says, Salaki. It says, I admire the philosophy, not to use a harsher term, of the gentleman from Brunswick, which enabled him to turn the whole Southampton affair into ridicule. He told us he had witnessed that tragedy or a part of it. Sir, had I witnessed that tragedy, I am sure I could never have thought of it and smiled. But, sir, although I have no fears for any general results from the efforts of this class of our population now, still, sir, the time will come when there will be imminent general danger. All right. And he's speaking in regards to rebellion, to the rebellion of slaves. But when you look at it in reality, we never rebelled. We never sought vengeance. In fact, we tried to be a part of the society, be part and included in the society. We just had the birthday of MLK, which a lot of people celebrated. But one of his biggest regrets is that he helped integrate us within the society, and he likened it unto a burning building, you know. It says, pass as severe laws as you will to keep these unfortunate creatures in ignorance. You see, and this is the bills that they pass. This is laws that they pass, and we've seen what they've done and what lengths that they have made or taken to derail us when it comes to education. At one point, we were threatened with imminent death if we were reading a book. All right. Okay. I'll continue. It says, it is in vain unless you can extinguish that spark of intellect which God has given them. See, they cut us off from what? Being spiritually inclined. All right. And being, which is our divine right. We human beings, but Esau, made laws and treated us like we were less than human. And it's still in there, the constitution that we're 3/5 of man. All right. It says, let any man who advocates slavery examine the system of laws that we have adopted. From stern necessity, it may be said, towards these creatures. All right. And that's how we were viewed as, even though we raised their children, even though we picked their crops and made them wealthy. All right. Even though we made inventions which we get no credit for, and they stole and became wealthy off of, they still looked at us as less than third class citizens, second class citizens, however you want to say. It says, and he may shed a tear upon that and would to God, sir, the memory of it might thus be blotted out forever. Sir, we have, as far as possible, closed every avenue by which light might enter their minds. He's talking about the slaves. We have only to go one step further to extinguish the capacity to see the light, and our work would be completed. You see, and they have gone beyond the calling. All right. You know, they have poisoned our water. They poisoned our food. They put lead in cockroaches, German cockroaches, by the way, in the projects, so we would suffer from influenza, so we wouldn't be able to function on a high capacity, high level of learning. All right, is numerous things that this devil has done, the so-called white man, that we could be more than angry about. But as the scriptures say, vengeance is mine, said the Lord. You know, vengeance is mine, said the Lord. And nobody is more hurt than the Most High Yahweh, okay, and his son Yahweh Shai, for what has been done to his children. All right. You know, I only had a few precepts. You know, you get the gist, but I wanted to mention something else. Oh, yeah, poisoning our water, poisoning our food, poisoning the air we breathe with barium aluminum oxide, German roaches, Planned Parenthood, sterilization. There was one in particular, one thing I wanted to mention that really stopped our. Something I suffered from, Ritalin. All right, which stunted my intellectual growth. I had a speech impediment. Um, most of us, you know, that understand the truth, that know the truth, we suffer from these things because they diagnose us with ADHD and give us pills that kill off our brain cells. So it's harder to function. If this is not a crime towards humanity, if this is not a crime towards a nation of people, I don't know what is. But see, they want to throw the Holocaust in our face. They want to throw all these other things, all these other tragedies. But the main tragedy, the most heinous crime that's ever committed was a transatlantic slave trade and slavery here in America. And the removal of the indigenous tribes here in America, which you so-called North American Indians, you so-called Mexicans, you so-called Seminole Indians, all right, which are the tribes of Gad, Issachar, and Reuben, all right, all in that order. And so these are the heinous things that we had to face here in America and continue to face. Shit, we have 5G now, which they send microwaves towards our brains, towards our vital organs, and they destroy our vital organs. So we're at war at the highest level, a silent war, which of course is going to be, you know, it's going to be, what you call that? A blackout, you know, as far as it being pushed out there in the open. But this is more shame upon Esau's glory, you know, because they believe that they got everything by way of merit, by putting their best foot forward. In actuality, they never put their best foot forward. As far as wickedness goes, as far as oppressing people, yeah, they put their best foot forward. Let me see if it might be a little bit more on here. All right. It says one step further to extinguish the capacity to see the light. And that's why Christianity is, alive and well among the majority of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, because it keeps you pacifized. All right. It keeps you docile. It keeps you sterile mentally. Okay. That's one of the main tools that Esau uses. Okay. It says, and our work would be completed. They would then be reduced to the level of the beasts of the field. And we should be safe, you see. And so they deprived us, derailed us, degraded us because they didn't want to compete on a level with us, knowing that we would overshoot them in every which way. And the scriptures are on point. The Lord raised up these base men to rule over us, to rule over the whole world. And as Isaiah 14 says, is this the man that made the earth tremble? These the men, but now their power is being taken away. Their time is up. Okay. All right. So I'll continue. It says, and I am not certain that we would not do it if we could find out the necessary process. All right. And that under the plea of necessity, but sir, this is impossible. And can man be in the midst of free men and not know what freedom is? All right. Because them delegating back and forth for basically how they're going to do us. And hey, let's go into the scriptures. I'm going to get Isaiah 10. Because once again, they've been framing mischief by law. They made laws to deprive us of our natural us being able to naturally sustain ourselves. They deprived us, they degraded us, took away our self-esteem, and hey, this is heinous, man. This is heinous. This is heinous, and this is on another level. All right. Let's get Psalm 64, and I'll go back to Obadiah. But let's get Psalm 64 and 1. To the chief musician, a psalm of David. Hear my voice, O power, and my prayer. Preserve my life from the fear of the enemy. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. All right. Because what? Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked. Because they have what they call themselves the Illuminati, the secret societies. All right. And they sit on the council. They sit on round tables and they delegate how they can destroy, how they can continue to degrade, dehumanize, and take away our liberty of being, of self-sustenance, take away our liberty of knowing our power. Mainly, that's what it's all about. Taking away our advantage, which is the Lord, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. I guess it don't want to work. And that insurrection that's being made, it's an insurrection being made against us. So there's a war against us, a silent war, which is not going to be in the mainstream media. They're not going to focus on it because their whole plan, even the mainstream media, is against us. Their whole plan is to wipe us out. And it has been for some time. All right. Because our intellect is a threat to the so-called white man and his existence. That's why they shoot us down. Hey, I just got done watching the movie Queen and Slim. Good movie, funny. But there's definitely some direct messages in there. But they want to shoot you down because you're a threat. And of course, we the boogeyman. So, but this is the imminent war. This is the imminent danger that our people are under. Of course, the Lord has his hand in it. Moreover, that is the main thing right there. All right. It says, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, which is the Illuminati, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. All right. Because they're working iniquity. They're working evil behind closed doors. OK. Who wet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words, as we just read their bitter words. That they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. All right. And they shoot in secret by what? Placing their laws, doing the evil things behind closed doors that directly affect us as a people. You so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. They don't fear the Most High. Because really they think the Most High is like them. And he's not. Verse 5. They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privately. They say, who shall see them? And this has been their plight since they were allowing us to be free. You see what happened post-slavery. More oppression, more derailment, more stonewalling of our advancement within the society. But that's fine. The scriptures say we don't have an inheritance with the world. Okay? That they may shoot in secret at the perfect, suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privately. They say, who shall see them? They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. And what you just witnessed with this recording of this guy, Henry Berry, during his speech, 1832, January 20th, the House of Delegates in Virginia, they come together and delegate on a day-to-day basis. They lay snares privately, meaning traps. All right. If you can't look at the justice system, the criminal justice system, and see that it's flawed in the most major ways, then I don't know what to tell you. If you don't see that it's geared towards and discriminative towards you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, I don't know what to tell you. Unless you want to play the game of being included in the society and thinking that you don't have those problems like all other so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans do. You have a rude awakening coming, because they're going to get punished by the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, for all the heinous things that they have done, all the inherited wealth that they inherited, all the turning the blind eye, turning their backs, basically looking down upon us in the most bogus ways, the most messed up ways. You're going to be caught up in the snare that the Lord is setting up for them. All right. They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search, both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. All right. And these are these so-called white men. All right. They search out iniquities. And what's a proven factor? Black exploitation. All right. These industries that they have built, and they have, you so-called blacks as the face of their industries, pushing certain narratives to take away our innocency, us being innocent, taking away our very morals by the influence of, social media, movies. Tyler Perry just made a fucking movie. Excuse my language. He just made a movie called Fall from Grace, depicting the so-called black man as a mischievous, deceitful, beguiler, evil, user, abuser, all of the above, man. And he's pushing the narrative of the so-called white man. That's how the so-called white man searches out iniquities. Of course, with hip hop, everything, every line you hear, every bar you hear is about killing, shooting, pulling up on somebody with a stick and shooting somebody, stealing and robbing somebody. It's all iniquity. And who is at the head of these industries? Who are at the head of these institutions? So-called white men. All right. You look them up, Leo or Cohen. They allow these things to be pushed among you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native American communities, which in turn will influence you in such a way where it gives you an animalistic viewpoint, and it just gives you an animalistic drive. And so they've justified the means of going out killing you, because what? Every day to these so-called white people, you're perpetuated as a thug, as a rational beast. All right. They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. But the Most High shall shoot at them with an arrow. Suddenly shall they be wounded. So they shall make their own tongue fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. And the Most High has put the spirit on these Edomites to tell on themselves. Every 25 years, they'll come out with classified information. It'll be unclassified, to show you they put AIDS in a community. Behold the pale horse, page 66, read it. Other things, man, syphilis, Tuskegee, the Tuskegee plot that they had, So it's countless things, man. And the Lord is revealing them, okay? And you're going to be known as a wicked. You can't hide yourself anymore, man. It's over with. So they shall make their tongue to fall upon themselves, and all that see them shall flee away. And all men shall fear, and shall declare the work of the Most High, for they shall wisely consider of his doing. All right? They're going to wisely consider of how the Most High is going to take these people out, these Edomites. The righteous shall be glad in the Lord Yahweh, and shall trust in him, and all the upright in heart shall glory. All right? Which that's going to happen, man. Okay? I only had a few precepts. I had Isaiah 10. Go ahead and get that real quick. Isaiah 10 and 1. All right, Isaiah 10 and 1, because we can go all day with this, man. Obadiah was whole books dedicated to Esau. Whole books dedicated to Esau, of judgment, of righteous recompense. Isaiah 10 and 1. Woe unto him that decree unrighteous decrees, and right grievousness which they have prescribed. All right, and as you see, as I'm reading that article or that recording of the delegate, the House of Delegates during 1832, what's his name? Henry Berry. Those are the things that they prescribe. Not allowing us to have, as you see here, and in a sense, they're talking about spiritual. The main thing, spiritual, man. So they're taking what? They're taking judgment from the fatherless. All right? They're taking our righteousness away from us. And they have created and generated the so-called Negro that you see today. Okay? Look, I'm going to read it again. It says, Salakia. It says, sir, we have, as far as possible, closed every avenue by which light might enter their minds. We have only to go one step further, to extinguish the capacity to see light, to see the light. Why would you keep somebody in obscurity? Why would you keep somebody in darkness? That's my question. But of course, you're dealing with the perfect devil, the perfect liars, the perfect deceivers. These so-called white people, these Edomites, the Esau. All right. It says the capacity to see light, and our work would be completed. They would then be reduced to the level of the beasts of the field, and we should be safe. All right. And so they kept us in obscurity because they assumed that we were going to rebel against them. And the Lord didn't have it so. We didn't rebel. Of course, you have certain spots where it was just too hot for our people to handle, like Nat Turner. And he was justified. All right. Just like they justified the War of 1812, all their generals that they worship, and these men, General Custer, and all these men, they would, murder whole villages, man, full of women and children. And they would do heinous things to them. You know, this is just one man. All right. But hey, it is what it is, man. You know, let's go back. Verse 2, to turn aside the needy from judgment, to take away the right from the poor of my people, which they have done. And our right was what? To know our power, to know our God, to see the light. All right. It says that the widows may be their prey and that they may rob the fatherless. All right. And what will ye do in the day of visitation and in the desolation which shall come from far, which is the thermonuclear destruction? To whom will ye flee for help? And where will ye leave your glory? All right. Because there's going to come a time where the Lord is going to completely wipe out Esau, especially on this side of the earth, because everybody else that's not destroyed in the thermonuclear destruction that is headed for America, they're going to go into slavery, chattel slavery. All right. Okay. That's one more thing I wanted to mention, but Obadiah 1 and 10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. And that's all I wanted from there, because you can read the whole book. All right. And all it is just straight judgment for Esau for everything they have done throughout antiquity as well, and for their future trespasses and transgressions against the Lord and his people. Habakkuk 2 and 16, for thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory. And that cup, all right, is the fury of the Lord. That cup we had to drink as well. That's why we had to endure slavery. We had to endure the shame, all right, being ridiculed, being diminished as a people, being looked at as inferior, ignorant, stupid, all right, not worthy to even be living on the planet. That's what we had to face. And that's what Esau is going to have to face. But he's going to have to face it in front of the eyes of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Yahushai. Okay? And that's pretty much it, you know. Like I said, I can go all day. We can go all day. But, you know, for the sake of time, Lord willing, this was edifying. I would encourage you brothers to read up on this. This is, I'm going to go ahead and bookmark this one time. But yeah, you know, and with that, I'm going to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakha Kodash, a double honors to the apostles and the elders, I great millstone, salutations to Akim that's out there doing the work of truth and sincerity. Shalom.